Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. In this video, we'll be talking about the WZ-7 Soaring Dragon, the high altitude reconnaissance UAV from the People's Republic of China. Please remember to like and subscribe. Alright, fact 1. Joined wing design. An interesting feature or outward appearance of the Soaring Dragon is the joint wing design that it has. This is very unique among all drones around the world from different militaries. This particular one from the Chinese military has a joint wing design where the wings on both sides are joined into the fuselage by a strut that connects all the way from the wing to the rear of the drone. Supposedly, this gives it a much better lift ratio and keeps it afloat without as much energy as a traditional wing type configuration. However, I'm not so sure because almost no other nations use this type of design. But the Chinese military stresses that this really improves the lift ratio for this drone, and as a result makes it extremely versatile and powerful compared to other competing drones. This UAV is definitely a game changer for the Chinese military in terms of long-range reconnaissance. Alright, let's get into the next fact. Fact 2. Competes with the RQ-4. When I take a look at this drone, it looks roughly similar to the RQ-4 Global Hawk from the United States military. The RQ-4 Global Hawk is also another long-range reconnaissance, but of course from the United States Air Force. When you compare the Global Hawk and the Soaring Dragon, to be honest, they look really similar. Both of these UAVs have a huge bulge in the front of the airplane that contains all the necessary communications and surveillance sensor equipment. And both of them have the jet engine on top of the rear of the aircraft. It looks really similar to me. Obviously, the Chinese Soaring Dragon has a joint wing design, whereas the RQ-4 Global Hawk is a traditional wing design. But they really look similar. And I wonder if the Chinese took inspiration from the Global Hawk and designed the Soaring Dragon and then customized it to what they think is better for the drone. The Global Hawk is a proven military UAV for high altitude reconnaissance, and the Soaring Dragon competes at the exact same category. However, the Soaring Dragon could potentially be armed with weapons and bombs, whereas the Global Eagle is really just for surveillance, because you can see it doesn't have any weapon space or pods to attach any bombs or weapons. Alright, fact 3. Mostly reconnaissance. As I mentioned in the previous section, the Soaring Dragon is a high altitude reconnaissance long endurance UAV, capable of flying long distances without any human on board and then do large area surveillances. However, it has been rumored that the Chinese military has retrofitted the Soaring Dragon to also be able to carry weapons and bombs. I think it makes sense, because if you think about it, it's really an airplane that could fly in high altitudes with cameras and sensors. And if it already has cameras and sensors and being controlled by global positioning radio, why not have it with weapon systems so that once you go over a target of interest, you can fire or drop bombs on them? To have something that really just has reconnaissance, to me, is such a waste, because the enemy is going to shoot it down no matter what, even if it's reconnaissance or it has weapons. And since the enemy will shoot it down, you might as well arm it with the latest greatest weapons so that it has some teeth to fight against the enemy. Cool. Let's get into the next fact. Fact 4. Wide operations. Ever since the WZ-7 Soaring Dragon has come into operation for the Chinese military, it has been spotted all around the Chinese territory. Now, I'm not talking about immediately adjacent to Chinese territory. No, I'm talking about places where they really don't expect Chinese UAVs. For example, the Korean Peninsula, it has been spotted there taking surveillance operations, and also in the Japanese Okinawa Islands. It has been documented by the Japanese Self-Defense Air Force flying through the various channels and straits near the Japanese territory. Of course, it stays within the international boundaries, but they have all been captured and recorded. When I say capture, I mean by image only. No failed missions has been recorded with this Soaring Dragon drone. Across Tibet and India borders, there have also been sightings of this drone taking high altitude surveillance. Alright, let's get into the next and final fact. High altitude. So, for this drone to work flawlessly, it really needs to fly at a incredibly high altitude. And it really does. It can cruise at about 60,000 feet with a maximum cruising speed of about 750 kilometers or 405 knots. Its range is roughly 7,000 kilometers or translating to 3,800 nautical miles. The drone can carry up to 650 kilograms or 1,400 pounds of mission payload. This really bolsters the Chinese surveillance capabilities across the world, and as such, we have already seen them demonstrate the capability of this drone to all the neighboring nations around the Chinese territory, and letting them know that the Chinese military is not falling behind on UAV technology as compared to other Western nations. All militaries around the world agree that more and more aircrafts are going to be unmanned because they can operate much longer and into dangerous territory without any loss of human life. And UAVs are going to be a game changer. Alright, that's it for my video today. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe. See you next time.